gonna be a lot of conversations before the game, but during the game, we ain't gonna talk. It's gonna be heated because I know how he is and I know how I am. So it's gonna be a lot of energy.
Yeah, we both competitors and we gonna push our guys to the edge.
Hi, I'm Governor Matt Meyer, and welcome to Matt Chats. On this podcast, we're talking with change makers. So join me as we sit down with the people who are making a difference and hear how they're working together to lead our way to a better Delaware. We're here today for an exciting episode. I'm playing a little Don King. This is a promoter exercise, October 30th. We have a heavyweight matchup between Michael Vick and the Norfolk State Spartans and DeSean Jackson and the Delaware State Hornets at Lincoln Financial Field. This is the first ever, the first annual, we're hoping, HBCU Classic. Real excited. I'm here in studio in the NovaCare Complex, the Philadelphia Eagles NovaCare Complex. Shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles, the whole team, the whole family, for welcoming us today with these two NFL greats. Why don't I start here? You guys have had storied careers. You've, according to what I read in the press, you've made some good money. You've spent decades on this game. Why do this? Why, both of you in the last year, a few months ago, back in December of 2024, decided to become not just head coaches, but head coaches at HBCUs. Why do that, Michael?
You know, for one, it's about opportunity. You know, we go through this lifetime searching for opportunity, you know what I'm saying, and dreaming of becoming an NFL player. I would have never dreamt of becoming a football coach on the collegiate level. But, you know, over time, things change, your heart changed, and, you know, I love when I did football camps, and I hated leaving the kids when I left the camps. I always wanted to spend time with them and, you know, spend time with them to see how they could develop. But, you know, when you do a football camp, they go off into, you know, another form of coaching or, you know, another form of mentorship. So it's something I always wanted to do, just didn't know when it was going to happen. And, you know, I mean, fortunately for us, you know, it happened at a time we probably didn't think it was going to happen.
DeSean, why do this?
I never thought in a million years I would be coaching collegiate football. That's first and foremost. I was in a different space than Mike. You know, I was retired 1 year, sat around, didn't really do anything. Was with my kids, taking them to school, just everything I missed over the past few years of my kids' early age in school. And I was like, you know, I deserve, after fruits of labor, working so hard, I'm like, man, I deserve to not do nothing. So a whole year went by and I didn't do nothing, kicked my feet up, woke up when I wanted to. In that second year, I started itching. I'm like, hold on, I got to get off the couch. I got to go do something. I was trying to do the, you know, the broadcasting and, you know, those slots, what I found out, those slots are, you know, they're limited. Yeah, they're limited, and sometimes they're way back, you know, set date on that. So I was like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So my brother was a head coach in high school, and I went over there and just started coaching for a little bit, and I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with it. At first, it was like kids were starstruck, like, oh my God, DeSean Jackson is here coaching me. And then once that first week went past, they was like, all right, it started settling in, and I started seeing all the information I was pouring into them. I was like, I could see how they was, you know, taking it in, and they was getting a lot better. So, you know, for me to stay around this game after a game I played my whole life, you know, we grew up playing this game. It would be crazy for us not to pour back into these young men. Everything we went through and what we could, you know, teach them. I'm like, man, that's my calling.
Is it easier than playing or harder than playing?
I think it's different. I wouldn't say it's easier or harder. It's different. It's a different mindset. It's a different challenge. But, you know, me and Mike, we've came from Andy Reid's, you know, me, Sean McVay. A lot of men I respected that done it at a high level, even Raheem Moore, you know. And for me, I just try to take bits and pieces from all the great coaches, and that's what you see from me. Even with Coach Prime, you know, Coach Deion's done a great job. He's opened the door for guys like ourselves. So it's just really sprinkling your own forte to it, you know, and kind of, you know, like Salt Bae, you know, putting whatever your version of it is. Yeah, it'll be different.
Make it what you want it to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Can't do it like anybody else. You can, you know, you can kind of duplicate some of the things that they do, but, you know, it's got to be our own flavor.
Yeah. But there's a lot more than football, too, and being a college football coach.
Yeah, I mean, DeSean just said, I mean, football is the easy part when it comes to this. It's more, for us, it's probably more so,
day-to-day.
And he's talking to Jack, it's like just handling, you know, the day-to-day operations and just making sure we get through the day.
All right.
You know, we just got a lot of phone calls, a lot of questions, a lot of intel, you know.
A lot of things
It's
you
just
don't
different.
know.
A lot of things you don't know. You got to lean on other people, and so that's why you got to put a strong team around you and you know, just kind of take it one day at a time.
So I have to ask you, 15 years ago, I was a U.S. diplomat in Iraq, and I was all alone in a mess hall in Mosul, Iraq, surrounded by a lot of soldiers who were Giants fans. And in December of 2010, there was a game that the Eagles had to win, and you guys were down 31-10 in the fourth quarter. And I'm surrounded by Giants fans, and it was rough. Do you remember that game when you came back? Do you remember DeSean falling into the end zone? All we wanted you to do is run in the end zone, and you instead decided to run across the goal line.
Yeah, I'll never forget that day, ever.
Do you have any great memories together?
Yeah, I mean, just sitting right there in the chair. I mean, just whenever I see him, man, people constantly remind me of our days in Philly, and his name come up a lot more than probably the same way my name probably come up in his life. So, I mean, we spent 6 years together, and just you know, friendship, brotherhood. That's what football is all about for us. I think that's what we appreciate. That's why we love what we do right now so much.
Who's faster?
You know, it's
faster.
crazy. You know, it's crazy. When he came here, they was like,
Yeah.
man, Vick, he ran 4.2 something when he was young. I said, man, that's the young Vick, man. He older now, man. He been sitting in the cell for all these years. I said he can't mess with me.
But I mean, even in my prime, probably not. I had a short burst. DeSean again, he had the long speed, like true long speed. So right. I beat Shady in the race though.
Yeah, he did.
That's why.
He got Shady.
Yeah, I got him. Yeah, in front of everybody. I was 32 years old too.
I remember.
Go ahead, sorry.
And I was gonna say I remember that like it was yesterday because, you know, obviously at that time I was the fastest on the team, and you know, Vick coming out, we always knew Vick was fast. Just what he's done in his career. You know, I grew up a huge fan of Michael Vick first and foremost. So when he came here in 2010, it was surreal because I remember the conversation where Andy Reid brought us in his office, or he brought me in division. He texted me, he's like, man, what you think if we could get Michael Vick? And at the time we had Donovan McNabb here. So I just remember, I'm like, man, you can't ask me that because I'm like, I love Michael Vick. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, first black quarterback, you know what I'm saying? Just a lot of things that he did. And I was like, man, when he got here, it was like, I couldn't believe it. And then to play with him and catch touchdowns from him. So, but it was crazy though, that first practice.
The best deep ball.
Yeah, the best deep ball for
yeah,
sure. He got it. And it was effortless to him. Like,
I ain't scared to say that on camera.
Man, best deep
ball you know, I forgot about AR. But yeah, I'm up there with the tops.
Man, this dude right here, it was a lot of quarterbacks that couldn't hit me on the right on the money. Mm-hmm. For some reason, he just knew how to gauge it. Like, he would throw it far enough where he wouldn't overthrow it and he wouldn't underthrow it. Like, it was perfect. I never had that before.
I have it.
For sure.
One of the greatest in the game.
So you're both guys with incredible God-given talent. Your speed, your agility, your ability to make people miss. Is it frustrating or hard for you as a coach to teach that? Because a lot of your
I'll answer that one first.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think in my scenario, I try to give a lot of guys the benefit of the doubt. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, my older brother Travis, who's my assistant head coach, he'd be like, last year I was the offensive coordinator, and you know, he's offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. So like, you know, he would let me call plays, but I would be out there calling plays up like I got a DeSean Jackson on the field. He's like, man, we don't have a DeSean Jackson. He's like, everybody can't do that. And in my mind, all I know is one thing: let's go deep, right? So even now, it's like I'm trying to give players the benefit of the doubt of like saying, oh, they only weigh this much, and I weighed that much in high school. I mean, in college, he was like, well, you was 4'2". These dudes ain't 4'2". These dudes was 4'5" and 4'6". So I think it's just a different scenario, but you know, it's a different era. I think, you know, like we was talking about earlier, the era now, these young guys, man, they weren't raised how we was raised. And, you know, it's nothing against them. They don't know what they don't know. But for us, it's like we know one way. And, you know, now the NFL is changing how physical you can be, how hard you can practice. We only got so much time in a day. Like back then, I don't even think there was no limits on how long we could practice or how long we was in meetings. Like, we was there all day.
All day, all day. No, I mean, I agree with DeSean, but it's like you gotta, you know, we want players to look like us, but it's just not realistic. So you gotta find what their qualities are and just try to cater to them. You know, you're not gonna find a 4.2 speed, 4.3 quarterback with elusiveness or a receiver that you can just hang it up to and go get it. You know, maybe it'll come around at some point, but you know, it's like a gym. When you get lucky, you get lucky when you find one, and then, you know, this game just so different now. Like, you know, you just got to make sure that you configure your offense or defense to the players and their style and what they do best.
So October 30th, I'm here. I said I'm Don King. I'm a promoter. October 30th, if you're listening, go on Ticketmaster now. This place is going to be packed. Word is 10,000 Philly kids are going to be there. There are going to be at least 10, 15,000 from Delaware. I know quite a few. Dr. J told me quite a few coming up from Norfolk. This never would have happened without both of you. Anybody you want to shout out or thank?
I mean, I shout out D-Jack for hitting me in the beginning and just saying, look, this is just putting the bug in my ear that this could be something that could be possible. And then, you know, you got to figure out the elements and is it possible? And we got to, you know, obviously get with the right people to make sure it's something that can be done. But yeah, man, when Jack mentioned it to me, I just felt like it was just so far out that it was like something that, but then I started thinking about the people here in Philadelphia, you know, the people here in this administration, this organization who care about me and DeSean genuinely and really want to see us succeed. So, yeah, from that point forward, it just started coming together. And so, you know, after it happened, I called bro immediately, like, you know, hell of a move, good move, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would like to just thank, you know, from top to bottom, everybody involved, you know, from our president, Dr. Allen, to, you know, Tony Tucker, to Messing Star. I think it was a lot of work behind closed doors that, like Mike said, that people didn't understand. And for me to have the opportunity for all the memories we had here in Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, I've been to Delaware one time, and I was an Eagle, and I went to the Dover base. So when Delaware State came up, I'm like, man, where is Delaware State? So it's not to say anything about it, but I mean, at the end of the day, I didn't know where it was at, right? So then, now here it is, full circle. A lot of Delaware people are Philadelphia Eagles fans. So for me, I was like, man, it would be amazing for us to be able to have a game here where we made so many memories and have so much success here. My boy Frank here for the Eagles made it all possible. And like I said, it was just a lot of ongoing conversations. But to be able to come together, man, and play a Norfolk State game versus Delaware State, I mean, it's huge, man. I don't think, you know, anybody could have imagined what it would be like. But I know for sure we had like 30, 40,000 right now. I know a whole 70, so we got to ramp it up. You know, and today's a huge day for us ramping that up. But I really think we could definitely, man, get it close to packed out. And I know that game's gonna be amped. I am the home team, so he gonna have to go to the visitor side. So I mess with him on that.
That's gonna be weird. For sure.
Visitor side.
So used to being on the home side.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna be heated for sure.
Yeah,
During those 3 hours, we ain't friends, we ain't talking.
It's gonna be fun.
But before and after, that's my boy.
Are you guys still follow the NFL?
Yeah.
Any predictions for this year in the NFL? How do you think the Eagles, Super
NFL
Bowl
so
champion
tough.
Eagles are going to do?
It's tough. It's tough to make a prediction. Everybody's good. Everybody got a shot, including where we sitting at right now, defending champions. So
Yeah, they got a target on their back. I mean, what they did last year, how they beat up on one of the best teams of the decade in the NFL and took out Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. So
they're gonna try to come back strong.
I just know they lost a lot of key opponents. That's hard. You know, when you have a championship team like that, there's guys that's gonna go get paid. You know, so Sweaty's gone. You know, a few guys are gone. So Slay's gone. I think they took some hits, but you know, every year when you win a Super Bowl, you're going to have that target on your back. So it's going to be hard to repeat it, but I think they're going to have a good shot, but it's going to be tough.
Great. Well, October 30th, if you want to see two Eagles greats back at Lincoln Financial Field, this time on opposite sides of the field, coming to HBCU Classic. It's going to be fantastic for all. So big thank you to both of you again, not just for setting up this game, but for what you're doing every day, the decisions you're making, choosing to really go into teaching and coaching the next generation.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good luck on your podcast. You stepping on our field now.
The Philadelphia Eagles and Lincoln Financial Field are thrilled to host Delaware State and Norfolk State for a highly anticipated matchup on October 30th. Introduce Governor Meyer from Delaware. He also has been a supporter of this event, and he's here with us today, and I know he'd like to say a few remarks. Governor?
I'm just here to say thank you, first and foremost, to Don, Frank, Mr. Lurie, the whole Eagles team. Thank you for doing this. This is historic for the MEAC Conference in their 55th year. It's historic for the people of Delaware. and the people of Virginia, in addition to Norfolk State University and the great Delaware State University. I just want to encourage people to come out. We're hoping this will be, hope you don't mind, the first annual HBCU Classic at Lincoln Financial Field. To do that, we need people to come out and support this extraordinary event. You mentioned Mayor Parker, and I did want to highlight her tremendous support for this event, making sure that thousands and thousands of Philadelphia young people can come out, not just to see a football game, not just to see these two fine young men as leaders and coaches and teachers, but also to get a little bit of that HBCU flavor, to understand, maybe ask a few questions about what is a historically black college and university, and hopefully a few of them to say, this is an experience I want to have one day. So thank you very much for all the support. This is an extraordinary opportunity for a community to come together. And don't forget, when you go down to Delaware, there's a little bit less humidity. Thank you.
Thanks, Governor.
You know, this is an opportunity for us to really put what we've learned over the last, year on display. And I would say this, you can expect to see us doing this for a long time.
But when Mike Vick knew he was going to be up for a head coaching job, he reached out to me. The relationship we have is a real brotherhood, and we talk not every day, but we talk quite frankly, right? So when he was up for a job, it was a few jobs that his name was thrown in the hat there, right? And he reached out and he was like, I know you coaching. He said, what you doing? He said, man, if I get one of these jobs, you're going to be one of my first hires. So at the same time, I'm like, man, yeah, I would love to, right? And then within a week, I get a call from Delaware State, and this right when he took the Norfolk State job. So I was like, I was trying to limbo it because I didn't know if I was going to get the job or not, so I didn't really want to tell him because we're in the same division, right, or the same conference. So it's crazy because a few weeks, like literally a week after he got his, then, me and Delaware State, we locked in our deal. But it's just crazy because just knowing how much this dude pours into the youth, like I know that about him. Like he really gives his all, and vice versa with me. Like the kids and the youth is something that we really pour into, and to have all the information and the knowledge we have, it would be selfish for us to not give back to these young men that's trying to go somewhere in life. So I think that's something that stands out. That's the character of men that you get when you talk about a Deshaun Jackson and a Michael Vick. We're just here to pour into the youth and change their coaches and change their lives. October 30th is going to be huge. I think this is going to be something we want to do for a classic year in and year out. This year, you see I'm suited like this for a reason. We're the home team, so he's going to go in the visitor locker room. We're going to put him on the other side. We're not going to really treat him as good.
I had a suit on next year.
He'll have the suit, and I'm going to look like the coach next year. So. Not for real, but we got to get the word out, man. October 30th, man, it's going to be huge, man. So get everybody to come out. Hopefully y'all can come support. The kids, everybody come out, man. It's going to be a life changer.
Good work, bro.
Yes, sir.